Hello everyone, Jesse Webb, TradersPro. Pretty significant crack in the trend yesterday. I'll come back to this chart here, but we've moved all the way back from that that bullish move the other day to mildly bearish in the bear market. This downtrend line that we've been talking about here, this sentiment, kind of a little bit of an extended move to the upside. Reversing pretty quickly here yesterday. So let's take a look. We'll jump right into, as far as these trends, that bearish trend, that when we're in this bear market, as I mentioned yesterday, sometimes these, as we start to swing to the upside, the overall bear market still takes over and we end up with more downside happening. Momentum has shifted from this bullish trend back to the momentum range, and sometimes that can be frustrating when the trends from day to day are moving around. So taking a little bit of a step back, looking at that longer term perspective, not making a ton of decisions based on one or two signals, especially in this bear market. I've mentioned before, it's about trading relatively small still at this point because of all the volatility that's happening. But we're going to be stuck. Similar story to where we were a couple days ago. We're just going to be stuck in the middle of this trend right here. That being said, S&P, if we look at S&P 500, a pretty sharp move here. Just one little clip right here of an attempt to get back in that uptrend here, and then it just got smacked down yesterday. We're still in this long-term trend, though. That trend line, is coming along something like that on that other chart that I was drawing. So a pretty solid down bearish day right there. So this potentially could be a counter trending to this overall uptrend, and we could see some more downside. If you take a look at the Dow, the Dow definitely got hurt worse yesterday, and that's not what I want. Sorry, I want a DIA. DIA, which is the ETF for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Pretty sharp move here. It could retrace pretty deeply. I mean, we could easily retest these lows. We could potentially retest a 50% retracement of this location, but this will be the first stop to see if we hold right here. Futures are down significantly this morning, so we're going to gap lower at to some level here. We'll see if it holds up or if we get some acceleration to the downside. So definitely be aware of the risk that's happening in the markets currently. This uptrend, or this buy-sell ratio, we've seen kind of top out. Not surprising that we see a little bit of a backfill, something like this, something like even this right here, any of these pullbacks, but that shorter term bullish bias is still intact. So we need to keep an eye on that and watch potentially for some support levels. We may see a bounce here. If we go back to this index tab that we looked at yesterday with the Dow stocks, the industrial average stocks, this number, remember, was 14. Can't remember what this one was. This one was only 5 or 6. So we've seen a couple stocks bump back over into the sell. Merck is one of them. That's that first day. It does have a long-term uptrend, but it's due for a little bit of a retracement here. And I can't remember the other ones that were in there now off the top of my head, but you're definitely seeing some pullback, even in these buy stocks. If we look at the buy stocks on the Dow, which is right here, this 10, you're seeing some cracks in these shorter term trends. So ExxonMobil, yes, it was leading, and yes, it was up to this level, but it's got a retracement working on it. It could find some support right here on this lower channel. But when you're getting the leaders now that are starting to get some of these significant sell-offs, then that could pull the entire index down. So a downturn on Caterpillar, Visa, these are all really nice uptrends and still in this buy zone. But keep an eye on this day yesterday. It could be the beginning of something that could last a little bit longer right here. In terms of current buys, there's always going to be stocks in that buy list. And there's going to be a handful that are in there today that they don't look real great. I don't love stocks that look like this, where they've had this real long downturn. I'd rather see them already moving higher, particularly in this market. And again, being very cautious of even adding additional stocks into portfolios when the market conditions are like this. Big pop in EDU yesterday. HCC, which is coal. Nice little bullish profile set up here. This uptrend, real large counter trend, staying out of this choppiness right here. Watching for this break to continue higher. That's really what trend following is going to do, is waiting for some of these confirmation moves, and that you get a little bit more whipsaw activity because you get some choppiness here. But ideally, when it does break out and it continues to move, you just hang on to that green location as long as that happens. And when it doesn't, even if it moves back to a hold, if you're a shorter term trader, entering in with some smaller positions and watching for that continuation. But again, market conditions have been really challenging in the last few months because we've had so much volatility. Haven't had any real smooth, clear, trending type patterns. But there are a few stocks that are some decent setups right there for you to take a look at. Even they're not that great. You're getting the buy signal here, and it's in an uptrend, but this shorter term 6-month time frame is still down. And so it may be a day just to watch to see if we settle out on any bottoms here today. If you don't have full access to the site, you can sign up with the link below, and we look forward to having you. Have a great day today.